Yemenite Hebrew, also referred to as Temani Hebrew, is the pronunciation system for biblical and liturgical Hebrew traditionally used by Yemenite Jews. Yemenite Jews brought their language to Israel through immigration. Their first organized immigration to the region began in 1882. Yemenite Hebrew has been studied by scholars, many of whom believe it to contain the most ancient phonetic and grammatical features. The Yemenites, themselves, among all Jewish ethnic groups, have garnered considerable praise because of their strict application of the laws of grammar. The notable Tunisian rabbi and scholar, Rabbi Mir Mazuz, once said of Yemenites that they're good grammarians. It is believed by some scholars that its phonology was heavily influenced by spoken Yemeni Arabic. Other scholars and rabbis, including Rabbi Yosef Qafih and Rabbi Abraham Isaac Kook, hold the view that Yemenite Hebrew was not influenced by Yemenite Arabic, as this type of Arabic was also spoken by Yemenite Jews and is distinct from the liturgical Hebrew and the conversational Hebrew of the communities. Among other things, Rabbi Qafih notes that the Yemenite Jews spoke Arabic with a distinct Jewish flavor, inclusive of pronouncing many Arabic words with vowels foreign to the Arabic language, e.g., the n. Hence, pronunciation of Yemenite Hebrew was not only uninfluenced by Arabic, but it influenced the pronunciation of Arabic by the Jews. Despite the Jewish presence in Yemen for over a millennium, among the dialects of Hebrew preserved into modern times, Yemenite Hebrew is regarded as one of the forms closest to Hebrew as used in ancient times, particularly Tiberians Hebrew and Mishnah Hebrew. This is evidenced in part by the fact that Yemenite Hebrew preserves a separate sound for every consonant, except for Samek and Sin, which are both pronounced per second, but which had already merged in ancient times, as evident in the spelling variants in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Distinguishing features: there are double pronunciations for all 6 Bagad-Kopet letters. Gimel without dagus. Dagus is pronounced like Arabic gain, and Dalit, dal without dagus. Dagus is pronounced th as the th in this. Thus, the word one in Shema Yisrael is always pronounced ahad. The phoneme gimel with the dagus. Dagus is pronounced in the Yemenite Jewish tradition as the English j in the word jack. Thus, the verse is realized as umi goy gadol. The pronunciation of tav tor without dagus. Dagus is theta is as the th sound in thick or thank, and is shared with other Mizrahi Hebrew dialects such as Iraqi. Thus, the word Sabbath day are pronounced in Yemenite Hebrew Yom HaShabboth. Waw is pronounced with as in Iraqi Hebrew and as in Arabic. Emphatic and guttural letters have nearly the same sounds, and are produced from deep in the throat. As in Arabic, the voiceless pharyngeal fricative of het is equivalent to the Arabic character h. The phoneme ajin is identical to the Arabic, and is a voiced pharyngeal fricative. The phoneme resh, or what is also known as the Hebrew rhotic consonant, r, is pronounced in Yemenite Jewish tradition as an alveolar trill, rather than the uvular trill, and is identical to Arabic ra, and follows the conventions of Old Hebrew. The Hebrew phoneme q is pronounced by the Yemenites as a voice program, as in go, and is in keeping with their tradition that a different phonetic sound is given for gimel. There is no distinction between the vowels pata and segol, all being pronounced a, like the Arabic father. Asua na, swa na, however, is identical to ayan. Quoms gadol, Karmak kadol is pronounced, as in Ashkenazi Hebrew. The Yemenite pronunciation for Kemetz Gadol and Kemetz Katan is identical. Final hej with mefik has an aspirated sound, generally stronger sounding than the regular hej. Aleph with a dagesh, a rare occurrence, is pronounced with a glottal stop, e.g., the word in Genesis chapter 43 verse 26. Conversely, some words in Hebrew which were written with the final he ending are realized by a secondary glottal stop, meaning they are abruptly cut short, as when one holds his breath. A semivocalic sound is heard before pataganub, pataganiv. Thus ruah sounds like ruah and sija sounds like sia. Yemenite pronunciation is not uniform, and Morag has distinguished 5 subdialects, of which the best known is probably Sanani, originally spoken by Jews in and around Sana. Roughly, the points of difference are as follows. In some dialects, Holm is pronounced O, while in others it is pronounced E, like Seir, Serij. Some dialects do not differentiate between bet with dagus and without. This is in accordance with most of Mizrahi Hebrew. Sanani Hebrew primarily places stress on the penultimate syllable, as in Ashkenazi Hebrew. History. Yemenite Hebrew may have been derived from, or influenced by, the Hebrew of the Geonic-era Babylonian Jews. The oldest Yemenite manuscripts use the Babylonian rather than the Tiberian system of vowel symbols, and which is believed to antedate the Tiberians' vowel system. As late as 937 CE, Kirkisani wrote, "The biblical readings which are widespread in Yemen are in the Babylonian tradition, indeed, in many respects, such as the assimilation of Pata and Segel. The current Yemenite pronunciation fits the Babylonian notation better than the Tiberians. This is because in the Babylonian tradition of vocalization there is no distinct symbol for the segel. It does not follow, as claimed by some scholars, that the pronunciation of the two communities was identical, any more than the pronunciation of Sephardim and Ashkenazim is the same because both use the Tiberians' symbols. A distinct feature of Yemenite Hebrew is the slight similarity between the Holm and the Seir, which, to the untrained ear, sound as though they were the same phoneme. Yemenite grammarians will point out the difference. For example, the word shalom is pronounced sholom, the o having the phonetic sound of something between an onrotic English and the German o umlaut. For all practical purposes, this sound is similar to the I in girl. Some see the assimilation of these two vowels as a local variant within the wider Babylonian family, which the Yemenites happen to follow. It should be noted that these sounds are only identical in a minority of Yemenite Jews, as opposed to that of the Sanani pronunciation which most Yemenite Jews use. The following chart shows the 7 vowel paradigms found in the Babylonian supralinear punctuation, which are reflected to this day by the Yemenite pronunciation of biblical lections and liturgies, though they now use the Tiberians' symbols. For example, there is no separate symbol for the Tiberians' segel and the pata, and amongst Yemenites they have nearly the same phonetic sound. It should be noted in this connection that the Babylonian vowel signs remained in use in Yemen long after the Babylonian biblical tradition had been abandoned, almost until our own time. Strict application of mobile Shewa. Rabbi Abraham Isaac Kook and Rabbi Jacob Safir have praised the Yemenites in their correct pronunciation of the Hebrew language. To this day they read the biblical lections and liturgies according to what is prescribed for Hebrew grammar, being meticulous to pronounce the mobile Suah Hebrew in each of its changing forms, while most other communities will also adhere to the rule of mobile Suah whenever two Suahs are written one after the other, as in Hebrew. Most have forgotten its other usages. Aharon ben Asher, in his treatise on the proper usage of Hebrew vowels and trope symbols, writes on the Suah, "It is the servant of all the letters in the entire scriptures, whether at the beginning of the word, or in the middle of the word, or at the end of the word, whether what is pronounced by the tongue or not pronounced, for it has many ways. However, if it is joined with one of 4 guttural letters, its manner of pronunciation will be like the manner of the vowel of the second letter in that word, such as equals Bohonath, equals Te'avu, equals Lihailkar, equals Re'elayo." Regarding the mobile Suah and its usage amongst Yemenite Jews, Israeli grammarian Shlomo Morag wrote, The pronunciation of the Su'a mobile preceding, or in the Yemenite tradition, is realized in accordance with the vowel following the guttural. Quantitatively, however, this is an ultra-short vowel. For example, a word such as Hebrew is pronounced woo-hoot. A Su'a preceding a yod is pronounced as an ultra-short hayek. The word Hebrew is pronounced biam. This is the way the Su'a is known to have been pronounced in the Tiberians tradition. Other examples of words where the mobile Su'a in the same word will take up the phonetic sound of the vowel assigned to the adjacent guttural letter, or where a mobile Su'a preceding the letter yod will take up the phonetic sound of the yod, can be seen in the following. Hebrew equals Vayashiv. Hebrew equals Barmo-oroh. Hebrew equals Bei-iva. Hebrew equals Weim. Hebrew equals Mizbehi. Hebrew equals Wo-o-yo. Liam, Lo-odoth, Lahajad. The above rule applies only to when one of the four guttural letters, or a yod or a resh, follows the mobile Su'a, but does not apply to the other letters which, in the case, the mobile Su'a is always read as a short-sounding patter. Kometz Gadol and Kometz Katan. The Yemenites in their reading practices continue the orthographic conventions of the early grammarians, such as Abraham ibn Ezra and Aaron ben Asher. One basic rule of grammar states that every word which has a long vowel sound, that is, one of either 5 vowel sounds whose mnemonics are pitchu hi hutham, whenever there is written beside one of these long vowel sounds a metigan which is denoted by a small vertical line below the word, it indicates that the vowel must be drawn out with a prolonged sound. For example, oo instead of o. In the Sephardic tradition, however, the practice is different altogether, insofar that they will also alter the phonetic sound of the long vowel quoms whenever the vowel appears alongside a metig, giving to it the sound of a, as in cat, instead of oo. Thus, for the verse in Hebrew, the Sephardic Jews will pronounce the word as kal, instead of kol, as motai is pronounced by both Yemenite and Ashkenazi Jewish communities. The metig, or gaya, has actually 2 functions. It extends the sound of the vowel. It makes any Su'a that is written immediately after the vowel a mobile Su'a, meaning the Su'a itself takes on the sound of a reduced vowel in Germanic languages, equivalent to less than e, greater than, or a, in the word about. For example, so emru equals yeirdu equals yeid, u equals omrim equals so emrim equals csrar equals su vkha equals and tu vkha equals al. The Kometz Katan is realized as the non-extended o sound in the first Kometz in the word Hokmah. The Yemenite quoms, represented in the transliterated texts by the diaphoneme o, is pronounced as the English a sound in all, or as in halt, or court, and this phoneme is always the same, whether for a long or short vowel, with the exception that the long vowel sound is always prolonged.